Everyone, welcome back to Rob's Funk and Junk podcast, episode 33. Hope you're all well. Hope you've had a great week. Hope everything's great. The weather seems to be getting a bit better. It's warming up a bit. It's a bit less muddy. We actually had some sunshine, which has been quite nice. Yes, thanks for listening last week and watching. Seem to be getting a few more followers on my YouTube channel. So hi, everybody out there, if you're joining me. I'm still trying to figure out the format. I don't know if there's a format. I don't know how to do this, really. I don't know quite what I'm doing, but I'm enjoying it all the same. Let me just check my levels here. I think I'm recording quite nicely. Good level there. Yes, so yeah, I kind of don't know the best format to do with this. I mean, you know, I think I'm just going to play it by ear. I've said this so many times before. I just don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just hanging out on my podcast, and sometimes subjects come up that I think about during the day, and I just like to talk about them. But I don't want to sort of have a big chat. I do have people sort of coming on saying, "Oh, can you teach me how to play this? And you teach me how to play this?" And I don't really want to get too much into that. I will teach sometimes if I feel like it, but I just want things to come out naturally. I'm waffling, fucking waffling. What am I doing? But I thought I was out walking Herbie, my dog, today, and it was very strange. I started sort of thinking about the gigs that I'm doing, the work, and the work that I've done throughout my career. And I was thinking about the ratio of rhythm to lead playing that I am involved in. Probably because I've been practicing a bit more lead playing lately. Lead playing is not something I practice loads. I do get inspired by people. Mr. John Cordy, he's very much inspiring me to work on some lead type things. And then there's a few other people like my friend Scott McKeon. I watch his stuff, and I've been checking out Mr. Sean Tubbs, who's amazing, of course. Tim, all of the above. I've been checking out all of the amazing players that, you know, studying their lead stuff. People like Mike Landau and Scott Henderson and stuff like that. But it's not something I work a lot on. It's not something I spend a lot of time doing because, and that's what made me sort of think about this today while I was out walking my dog. And I kind of was thinking, you know, probably in my working life as a guitar player, it's probably about 5% of the time in a working profession I'm playing lead. Most of what I do, and most of what most guitar players do, unless they're YouTubers or their own career playing their own music and it's instrumental based music, a lot of it is part playing and songwriting. and rhythm playing. Songwriting, where did that come from? A lot of it is part playing and rhythm. And usually a solo, in my experience, on the gigs that I do, I get 2 or 3 solos a night in a paid capacity. If I'm out doing a Jamiroquai show, I probably, I might get 2 or 3 solos in a show, probably only 2. One of them is in the same song. Every time we play the song, I have a solo at the end. And it's a song called Love Philosophy. And I play that guitar solo at the end of that song, and I have done for 20 years, however long I've been in the band, however long we've been playing that song. I used to have a solo in the song Deeper Underground, which is a real sort of rock out thing. And then sometimes Jay will point to me every now and then and go, take a solo. But the rest of the night, I'm playing rhythm. If I'm out doing a corporate gig with some of my friends, I'm playing rhythm. When I'm out doing the residency gig, I do tend to get more solos, and that is because the band is very small. It's a 4-piece band. There's vocals, drums, bass, and guitar. The guitar solo is used to give the singer a break, right? It's used to let the singer have a little bit of a rest. It's used to give the band a slightly different sound for 16 bars, 32 bars. And I tend to get a lot more solos in that gig. So that's perhaps why I've been working on it a bit more. However, it made me realize that how important rhythm playing is. That's why I kind of started out today playing just the rhythm part of a song that I play a lot. Answers in the comments below if you know what that song is. I know what it is. I know that I don't play the chords correctly. I don't play the same chords that are on the actual track. I just play my version of what I think it is. But it makes me want to talk about how important rhythm guitar playing is. If you want to be a working, gigging guitar player. I do get a lot of questions. A lot of people send me, not a lot. I hate it when people say that. Oh, I've had loads of questions. I haven't had loads. I've had a few questions. Asking, how do I break into the session game? How do I get work as a touring sideman, musician, or side person, side woman, side person? Make sure I get the pronouns correct. How do I get work as a touring musician, side person? Rhythm. But if you're a guitar player, it's rhythm. You're going to be playing rhythm 95% of the time. I remember my first proper tour that I did when I first started out was with an artist called Gary Newman. And I toured around the country with him and his band. And my only solo throughout the whole show was about 8 bars long. I had one solo the whole night, and it was a written solo, so I had to play the same thing every night. I couldn't improvise. I had to play the same melody every night, which is fine. I don't mind that. That's what I was paid to do. But I quickly realised that all of that stuff that I was learning, and studying George Benson and John Scofield and Scott Henderson and Alan Holdsworth, wasn't actually relevant in the capacity of that tour. And then I went on to do other stuff, and I realized that actually, no, it's the guitar. The guitar is very important to us, but it isn't the most important thing. And weirdly, tonight I was making dinner and I had a little video on, and Rhett Shull was the amazing Rhett Shull, who's got an amazing channel I watch a lot. He was with Tim Pierce, and Tim Pierce was saying that very same thing. The guitar isn't the most important thing. We think of it as the most important thing as guitar players, but actually in the scheme of things, it's just a small part. And he explained the situation where when he's working on something in the studio, he starts off with a part, and then that part becomes simpler, much more simple. As the track progresses, the guitar part is made more and more simple as the thing goes through, and actually by the end of it, sometimes it's so small, but it is there as doing a certain function, but it's not the main thing. So if you're my advice to anyone who wants to get out there and get playing, which I would hope you would, because it's great fun to get out there gigging and playing. Unless you're doing your own music and you've got your own project, my advice is learn a load of songs. Learn a load of songs in whatever genre you are going to be playing. I that one, the one I just played there is a favourite amongst a lot of the bands I play with. It comes up on the set quite often. There's lots of Stevie Wonder that comes up. There's lots of Earth, Wind and Fire that comes up. There's lots of Marvin Gaye that comes up. There's lots of stuff. Weirdly enough, most of the music that is played in those kinds of bands, when you're out playing in a bar or an event, it's songs that people want to hear. They know already. It's a safe place. It's a safe zone for music people know. As soon as you start playing something too obscure off some, a deep cut off some album by, a deep cut off a Stevie album, no one knows it. No one's going to get up and dance. No one's interested. So, that's why you find that if you're doing that kind of gig, you're going to do a lot of this. You're going to be doing a lot of those kind of songs. There's which I know, they're the songs that people know. Yeah, you might think it's cheesy, it might not be what you want to do, but if you want to get out playing, most of the time, a band that's filling a dance floor will be playing that kind of stuff, unless it's original music and everyone's gone out to see it. You've got the staples in the set that that come along. It's funny how the new songs that come along, even though now they're old, like a song like Get Lucky has become a staple in most sets. Now, Daft Punk's Get Lucky. The reason it's popular, in my opinion, don't kill me, in my opinion, the reason that's popular is because it sounds like something we already know. It sounds like a Chic song. Because it's got Nile Rodgers on it. He co-wrote the song. It's stuff we already know. Bruno Mars stuff. It's stuff that sounds like stuff we grew up listening to. That sounds like New Edition or something like that. It's stuff that we all know, right? We've heard it. Our parents were playing it when we were younger. That's why that is the stuff that fills the floors. You might get the odd Police number in there. You might get Sex on Fire. You might get those songs like rocky things. It's pretty much the same set list for most bands. And then all of a sudden a new tune will be released that becomes a big hit, and then that will come into the set, and then sometimes that will stick around. But most of it is based on classics, standards, right? Like you would have your jazz standards that, a lot of jazz musicians play. We have, in certain genres, a certain set list. So I would definitely advise you go out and you learn as many of those hits as you can. Learn the guitar parts, learn the bass parts, learn the keyboard parts, learn how to play those songs in different keys, because sometimes you might turn up to a gig and the singer wants to drop the song by a minor third, or raise it a tone. You have to be on it. You know, especially if there's no keyboard player, you need to know the chord changes to that song, right? And then adjust your, the other night someone called, Play September by Earth, Wind and Fire, right? So I know that song very well. Starts like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right, we all know that song, but on this particular gig there was no keyboard, so I had to play the chords. So playing full chords. You notice I'm playing full of chords, I'm playing root notes. If I'm playing in a band where there's a keyboard player, I don't have to play all those full chords. I just can kind of play the picky part. Chorus part goes. But hopefully, one thing, if I'm doing my job right, hopefully anyone listening to this at home or in the car or watching it, what you will feel is a pulse every time I'm playing, right? That to me is the most important thing in when you're playing rhythm guitar. You need to be able to give the listener a pulse so that they can dance, even when you're playing on your own. If I'm playing that song, I want people to feel good. I want people to know exactly where the beat is. If they don't know where the beat is, I'm going to tell them where the beat is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You notice when I'm doing that, I'm giving the listener a chance to, and that also translates to the drummer, the bass player. You all get on and the keyboard player. You all get on a feeling of something that feels good and it's got a pulse to it, right? It's to me, it's something I really pride myself on. Doesn't matter what style of music I'm playing, it's the rhythm that is the thing that's the rhythm's going to get you, as Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine would say. God, that's dating myself, isn't it? But it doesn't matter how simple the part you play is, it's got to feel groovy, right? So that is something I work on a lot still. Perhaps it's why I don't spend so much time playing lead, and perhaps it's why I'm not the most amazing lead player. I wish I was. I wish I was amazing, because I've got, there are people that I love. I love hearing them play lead, and I wish I could do that. And it is something I should be working on a lot more. But lead playing isn't the thing that pays my bills, right? It would be if I was more of a clinic player, and I had my own band, and it's just not the thing. And please write in and tell me if I'm wrong. I know that when I'm doing a solo on a gig, most of the gigs I do, so I do some really small gigs in a small little residency. I play at arenas. This sounds like I'm blowing my own trumpet. I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about the varied sort of places I get to play at. I play in tiny small places in front of 20 people sometimes. When I'm doing a solo, they're dancing. If they're dancing, they don't care that I'm doing a solo. I'm doing a solo because I'm giving the singer a break most of the time, right? Or I'm letting the singer have a rest with their voice, and it's just so you're not hearing singing all the time. If it wasn't a guitar solo, it might be a keyboard solo. The only people that really are listening to that most of the time in the band setting are the band. The audience kind of know there's a guitar solo, but they don't really know kind of the levels of harmonic input that you're putting into it. You know, they don't know you're playing a Lydian mode. They don't know you're playing a pentatonic lick in sixes. They don't know any of that. They just know what it sounds like and probably feels like. That's why I always think Prince was one of the best soloists ever, because no, he didn't play the most complex thing. No, he wasn't the most accurate. When he was doing a solo, you knew he was doing a guitar solo. That was what I loved about Prince's solos. He really grabs hold of that guitar like he's doing a solo. You know, and there are amazing soloists that I absolutely adore and love. Larry Carlton, Steve Lukather, Dan Huff, that I'm really getting into his playing at the moment. You know, they are particularly people that their music is designed around their soloing. You know, Nuno Bettencourt, for example, his solos are written into the songs. Yeah, that's amazing. Standing there, you know, I used to have I am waffling. I know I'm waffling, but I used to have the sort of the boy sort of boy dream about, you know, I'm doing a solo in front of a load of people. I've got my foot on the wedge. My hair is blowing in the wind. My hair is blowing in the wind, and everyone adores my solo, right? In reality, most people don't even know you're doing a solo in an audience. They don't care. They don't know. They're watching the show. They're listening to, you know, there might be a few musicians in there, or there might be people who know a bit about guitar and music, but most of the time, they don't really know or care. I remember when I first started with Jamiroquai, it was probably some of the biggest gigs I ever did. You know, I went from playing in smaller sort of venues, you know, playing when I did the Gary Newman tour and I played with a band called the Pasadenas. It was kind of smaller venues, you know, smaller capacities, maybe 3,000, 4,000 people. Going to play with Jamiroquai, the first tour I did was for an album called Funk Odyssey. And it was when the band were really flying high. We were starting to play arenas where it was like 13,000, 14,000 people, right? Amazing. You know, I was playing in a massive venue that was ringing and echoey and loads of reverb because the room was huge. And I noticed that the faster I played, the less the notes could be heard. So I started to play a bit slower because I've not got the most amazing facility and chops. You know, I haven't got more chops than Dewhurst. I've got a reasonable amount of facility for playing fast. But you know, if I remember, sort of, if I was doing like a legato thing, you can't hear that in a venue like that. You know, sometimes a reverb in a room can last 3 seconds. You hit a note and it lasts for 3 seconds. So the more notes you throw at it, the more that reverb builds up. Anyway, I remember doing a solo. I remember seeing people looking up at me and me thinking, wow, that's amazing. Me thinking, they're thinking what I'm doing is amazing, right? And then I could see their eyes just leave me and just sort of go off to the other side of the stage. And then I realized that the reason they were looking at me was because JK, the singer, was stood next to me while I was soloing. Then when he decided to walk away, all of the eyes go, or some of the eyes go. And I quickly was like, oh yeah, why would they? I'm just a guitar player, right? Yeah, I'm a guitar player in a band and I'm very lucky, but I'm just a guitar player. Actually, the most important thing is always the singer. It's always the singer, right? So I thought, shit, I better get good at rhythm, you know. So I learned to play rhythm like my life depended on it, like my job, my career depended on it. And that, that goes the same for if you're playing, I play, in the bands that I play in, it's mostly sort of soul, funk, R&B. But if I'm playing something else, like a picking part, like... I don't even know what I'm playing there. But I try and make sure that timing-wise, it's in time. Okay? And that is what I would recommend anyone who wants to get playing professionally, semi-professionally, work on your rhythm playing, because it will help your soloing as well. It really will help your soloing. But being able to play something in time and make it feel good, even when it's on your own, that is worth 1,000 gigs, right? That would be my advice to anybody. If you've got anything you want to say about, any comments you want to pass, if anything you want to impart, if you think I'm talking a load of rubbish, please let me know. I don't mind. Leave a comment or drop me a line or robsfunkandjunk@gmail.com. If you've got any questions, I don't know whether I've had any questions this week. Let me have a quick look in the old email. I did have some lovely comments. Hang on a second. I had some lovely comments on the YouTube channel. And oh yeah, I've got a gig with Sister Sledge coming up. A lovely chap called Carl. He's offered me the loan of some equipment. Well, I was talking about what equipment I was going to take to Georgia, to Tbilisi, when I go to play with Sister Sledge. He's offered me some equipment to loan. So thank you for that, Carl. I might take you up on it. I'm just still finding out the logistics of the gig. What else have we got? Greetings from Sydney, Simon Figliuzzi. Hey, Simon. How's Sydney? I've seen pictures. A friend of mine, Derek's just been over. My friend Derek. Oh yeah. No, I won't talk about it. It's too upsetting. But Derek Mackenzie has just been over to Sydney. He's been over doing some DJing over there, and I see sort of pictures. Makes me very envious. Just the weather looks amazing. So Simon says, hey Rob, I hope you're feeling better after catching the dreaded flu. I am. Probably still coughing a lot, but first of all, I'm a big fan of your guitar playing and Jamiroquai. What a dream gig to get, and enjoy your YouTube videos. Well, thank you very much. I'm a fellow Englishman from Manchester, but I emigrated to Sydney in 2006. Slightly better weather than old Blighty. Yes, I can imagine it is. I make my living over here teaching guitar in high schools, which I love, giving guidance to musicians of the future. Yes, well, I hope you're telling them to get their rhythm shit together. I recently watched your video trying out the new PRS Fiore Mark Lettieri signature, which looks and sounds amazing and would be my dream guitar to own. Yeah, well, they are amazing guitars. Very nice. Very, very cool guitar. Unfortunately, when COVID descended on the planet, it killed my tutoring business, resulting in having to sell most of my guitars to survive the pandemic, which, as you know, is heartbreaking. Yes, I do know. It's heartbreaking anytime you have to sell a guitar. Yes, it is. Mind you, do you know what? I never really get attached to guitars. I like them, but I think I put myself in a, I know what it's going to ask next. I put myself in a position where I don't need to rely on an instrument. There's one guitar, definitely, that if the house was burning down, I'd grab it, which is my JV Squire. I'd grab it, and I am really enjoying this at the moment, which I'll talk about soon. I was wondering if you could give me any leads in regards to contacting PRS to see if I could buy the Fiore, maybe with an educational discount. Simon, unfortunately, I do not know anyone that I can do that through. I'm really sorry, I can't help you with that. And you have to realise that if I did say I could, the amount of emails I'd be getting going, hey man, what about me? Can you send me, can you get me in touch with blah, blah, blah at PRS? No, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry, I can't help you there. But yeah, that was, what else did I get? just a load of bullshit emails saying you can help my my channel. Pay us a lot of money and we can help you boost your channel. Yeah, whatever. Nathan McDonough, podcast email questions. Did I read this out last week? Yes, I did read this out. See, I'm not getting that many questions in. That's fine. It's all right. Maybe people are bored of me. But I've had some lovely questions, lovely comments on the YouTube channel. So anyone who's reaching out, thanks. It does let me know that people are watching and listening. And otherwise, I'm just talking to myself in my room like a mad person. Can I say that? Can I say mad person these days? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, what's that? 31 minutes, 32 minutes I've been prattling on for. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. I'm off to Thailand tomorrow. I'm going to do a Boom and Twang. We have a Boom and Twang retreat in Thailand, our first one. We're looking to keep doing them. We're going to see how it works out. We've got some students coming over from all over the place. We've got a couple from Australia, I think, coming over. So we're going to be doing three days of teaching in an amazing studio in Thailand. And then a little bit of writing with the band Brother Strut. We're getting some Trionic gigs in the book. If anyone fancies coming to see Trionic, we're playing April the 11th at the Jam House in Birmingham. Get your tickets now, early bird tickets. They're not expensive. Come and see us and fill the room. And it means that we can get out and play more. You know, we really have been struggling to get gigs. I must say, we've been struggling to get gigs because our Instagram following isn't massive. You know, we've got maybe 2,000, 2,700 something. Venues these days will look at your Instagram, and if you haven't got enough numbers, they won't allow you to play, or they're not interested in you playing. So we're trying to build up our numbers, but, you know, there's only so many hours in the day for you to be able to promote something. And you do get, I get personally, I think I can speak for the other guys as well, we get sort of promotion fatigue. You feel like all you're doing is selling something all the time, and it doesn't feel good. But we still have to get people to come to the gigs. So this is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm promoting a gig, but I'm trying to do it in a nice way. But if you want to come down, Trionic are playing the Jam House in Birmingham on the 11th of April. We're also lining up a gig. It looks like we might be playing a festival in Poland. Fingers crossed. The Jazz Around Festival, fingers crossed. And some more gigs in France and possibly in Germany as well. So stuff's happening, and that's all because we got to play at the New Morning in Paris, and we had a room full of people. We were as shocked as anyone, but we had a room full of people who came out to see us, and it was really, really lovely to be playing to nice people, and we had an amazing time, but it looked like people had an amazing time as well. So what seems to have happened since then is people have gone, you know, venues are going, oh, wow, you did really well at the New Morning in Paris. Why don't you come and play here? So we're still sort of working the social media stuff a bit. But yeah, hopefully, you know, it can grow a little bit organically by people spreading the word as well. Anyway, shut up, Rob. Stop talking. It's late. I'm going to get to bed because I'm off to Thailand tomorrow. But I hope you all have a great week. I might do a podcast while I'm away in Thailand if I get a minute. Sit outside with my phone and do it, or whatever I can do. Actually, I'm taking on my laptop and everything anyway. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Drop me a message. Drop me a comment. Give me a like and subscribe or whatever it is. It just helps. I think it helps the algorithm put the podcast out to more people. So great. Thanks for checking in. Goodbye.